Hello everyone. Thanks for coming down. I know we have some of our customers that have come from Italy and even Sweden, so thank you very much for joining us. I'm Anthony, the CEO of Swogo. And over the past few years, we've been working with many of the world's leading retailers, like MediaMarkt, El Corte Inglés, and Appliances Online, to help them solve retail's #1 problem, price pressure. So, when we look at annual reports from the world's leading retailers, what we notice is they're all talking about one thing, and that's price pressure as being a major risk to their business. So what's actually going on? Well, let's take a look. So what's happening is that customers are always not only looking for the best prices, they're now actually expecting it. So this is a really big issue, and when we take a look at other things like Google Shopping, online shopping is making prices a lot more transparent. It's way more easier now to compare prices. And with things like Google Shopping, we're finding that 94% of people are actually investing the time to find the best price. And out of those 94%, around half of those are going to 4 different websites before making their purchase decision. So how can you, if you don't have the lowest price, win their business? Well, we are being forced now to live in a market that is so competitive that we have to compete on price to win business. And this is a race to the bottom, and it's a very dangerous place to be. Here is a lovely photograph of Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon. He's very well aware that people are looking for the best prices, and he's playing the long game as well. So his strategy is to always provide the lowest prices in order to win customers. But more importantly, this is to gain market share. By gaining market share, he will be in a controlling position to then dictate how much margin he should earn. He famously said that your margin is my opportunity. And this reminds me of a book by a Chinese military generalist who said this. He's called Sun Tzu, and it was from a book called The Art of War, which is one of my favorite books. So if you haven't read it, it's very small. You can go and check it out. So he said, if you have bigger lungs than your competitor, all things being equal, force them to compete in a contest where oxygen is the crucial limiter. And what he really means by this is his lungs is the amount of cash that he has. So he has a lot more cash than his competitors. So he can afford to compete in a contest where price is oxygen. And his strategy is working very well. So you can see here, Amazon really is pulling away as the largest online retailer in the US. This graph comes from Fortune magazine, and you can see Amazon are producing $82 billion in online sales. Comparing that to Walmart, the second largest, it's only at $12.5 billion, which is around 6 times smaller than than Amazon. And retailers are really putting price at the core of their company. So here, for example, you have Walmart saying, save money, live better. Again, another competitor, so Best Buy, is saying that they can have an unbeatable price. And this is happening all over the world. So here, for example, in the UK, John Lewis are a retailer that are really well known for delivering good customer service, and they're a high-end department store. And even they are living by their slogan, never knowingly undersold, which again is putting an emphasis back on price. This is a really dangerous place to be in, and margins are really getting smaller and smaller. If we take a look here, you can see there's a television for $1,500. And this used to be the price that you could buy a 32-inch TV basically around 10 years ago. Now, a 32-inch TV would cost around $150. So prices are falling, margins are getting smaller and smaller, and our margins are now thinner than ever. This is becoming even worse. So there's huge sale periods like Black Friday, Christmas, which again is putting an emphasis back on price, and it's helping customers reinforce that they should be getting the best price with deals, savings, and this is a really big problem, and it's actually growing. So you're looking at Black Friday, which used to be just a one-off thing on a Friday. Now it's happening for a week, even 2 weeks, and it's getting bigger and bigger. But in the end, what you're going to see is that there's no margin left to actually give. And unfortunately, because of this, we've had to say goodbye to many of the world's largest brands, like Radio Shack, who were once generating billions in sales. At the same time, what we're seeing is that the cost to acquire a customer is actually going up because of this increased competition. So if you look at the cost per clicks on Google AdWords, that's growing around 5 to 12% every single year. So if it's actually becoming more expensive to acquire a customer and you're making less from them, how are you actually going to go ahead and grow your business? What I'm going to do now is focus on 3 strategies that Amazon take to increase the oxygen into their lungs and reduce the amount of losses that they have. The first one is price perception. So Amazon are trying to be known as the everything store, the place that you can go to buy whatever you want at the best price. So what's happening is consumers are actually believing that Amazon has the best price on the market, even though that's not always necessarily true. Here, for example, we're looking at a popular router. It has over 3,000 reviews, and it's being sold for $119. This same router on Walmart, costs $144. In this case, Amazon is actually cheaper. But when we take a look at a less popular product, like this one here, it's being sold for $56. And on Walmart, it's $39.99. So in this case, Walmart is actually cheaper. And the reason is because Amazon are understanding that consumers' perception is as good as reality. So what they're doing is lowering the prices on the most popular products that customers are actually going to compare prices on. This allows them to reclaim some of the margin that they're losing on the most popular items. The second point I'd like to focus on is selling higher margin products. So it's no secret that add-on products like a laptop bag will have much better margins than a laptop, and also private label products even have better margins. So Amazon released their Amazon Basics range, and that's going really, really well. So we're seeing that their batteries, for example, are taking up 1/3 of online battery sales, and that's growing by around 93% every single year. So the third point that I'd like to focus on is their recommendations. In particular, they're frequently brought together, as this ties in both of the previous points. So a study by McKinsey found that recommendations account for 35% of Amazon's sales, which would basically translate into billions of dollars. And you can see here that there's one of their bundles that they're showing on their website. So this is a television which traditionally would have very low margin, let's say 5%. And then it's being combined now with a higher margin product, like this wall bracket here. And generally you could get, let's say, up to 70% margin on a product like this. So a customer that's buying a bundle like this will generate twice the margin of a normal customer just purchasing the television. What this means is that they can lower the price on the main product to create a perception that they have the cheapest price, and reclaim their margin on these additional add-on items, like the wall mount here. At times, they go even further than that. So you can see with a monitor, they're recommending 2 other add-on items. And these add-on items, when you look carefully, are private label products. They come from their Amazon Basics range. So again, these have even higher margin. But we notice that they're facing a lot of limitations with the way that they're approaching it. So here, for example, on Amazon.de, you can see that they have no bundles being displayed. And this is actually the case for the majority of their products. So their algorithms, we find, are often struggling and can lead to missing recommendations, which is essentially millions being left on the table and potentially billions. And again, sometimes it gets confused. So here you have a gaming headset being recommended with a shaver. So these two are very unlikely to be bought together. It would be much better to understand the needs of the customer and say, hey, they'd like to play games with it. So why not recommend a gaming mouse mat, or even some games for them to play? As you know, this is actually what the customer would like to do. Here you can see an example of one of our customers, which is MediaMarkt. And this is on the product details page of a laptop. So you can see on the left-hand side the main product, which typically has very low margin. What they're able to do is reduce the price on the host product because they're going to be able to reclaim the margin from these additional add-on accessories. We can not only push the high margin accessories, but we can also push their own private label products. This will allow them to remain competitive, allow them to gain market share from giving customers the actual best price, which is what they are after for, while giving them a better service and recommending more products that will allow them to reclaim their margin. One other thing I'd like to add as well is that before Amazon, when I was talking about price perception, is that they were really focusing on changing their prices as well. So they were changing them roughly millions of times every day. And in Christmas 2014, they changed their price 80 million times. So this is something that really is catching on, and it's important for retailers to act now on that. So by leveraging bundles, they'll be able to provide a competitive price and sell more products that generate more margin. You can see a photograph here of Eric, which is one of the guys at MediaMarkt, who was very happy after we'd made him millions of euros on add-on products. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to come over and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you very much.